Let's go. It is Sunday, January 17th. It's day 2 of the divisional round of the playoffs, and we are here for it. Welcome into the early edge. I am the coach. We are powered by SportsLine, coming off another winning day, and that's all we want, because when you go 7 days a week, you're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days, but we continued to win yesterday just a little bit, but we had a solid day. Now, today, 2 more games. Let's bring in the very best cappers in the business from SportsLine.com. Look below me, the man. Oh, he's ready to go. Emory Hunt, don't stare at me like that. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a great evening and ready for an early afternoon of football.
And then look at the man right next to you. I said I was going to come up with a nickname for him. He says, Well, actually, he didn't say that. But he's RJ White, the #1 NFL handicapper at SportsLine. RJ, good morning.
Good morning. Coming off a Bills win, my Buffalo Bills. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to maybe playing Coach's Chiefs here in the AFC Championship game next week. We'll talk about that next week.
All right. And fans at home right now, this is RJ excited. This is him excited. And then, of course, our rock, our guy, he's the maestro, Larry Hartstein. Larry, we missed you yesterday.
Coach, I missed you guys too. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
We do it all in 10 minutes or less. Darth is ready. I am ready. First game on the board. And this has been getting a lot of attention all week because it's the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, at home. And the line has been hovering around 10 all week. It just moved down to 9.5, according to our good friends at William Hill. Emory, let's start with you. Give it to me.
You know, I think when you look at the Browns in this one, I'm taking the Browns in the points. I think people are looking at the Chiefs kind of getting bored in between the middle of a game, letting teams hang around. The Browns have a really good offense. Defensively, they're opportunistic, so they tend to play a closer game. That style dictates that. So I would say this one will be a tighter one than many expected. So I would take the Browns in the points here.
I like the Browns too. I would take it down to 7. I think this line should be a lot closer. Kansas City hasn't won by more than 6 since week 8. Cleveland is as good as most of the opponents they played during that stretch. Baker only has 1 interception since week 7. He's good at avoiding the mistakes that would cause this to be a blowout. And the Cleveland offense is 3rd in red zone success rate, while the Chiefs defense is 32nd in that same category. So if Cleveland gets down to the red zone, they can get touchdowns instead of field goals, and that's how you keep a game close. So I like the Browns plus 9.5. I would look to the first half line plus 6.5 with the Chiefs coming off of 2 weeks of rest. They might be a little stale to start the game.
I'm going to make it a clean sweep and look at the Browns. I much prefer 10, obviously, to 9.5, and I got it at 10, and there's still 10s that you can get out there. The Chiefs give up 4.5 yards a carry. We know the Browns are going to run the ball. The Browns have been involved in shootouts with Baltimore and Tennessee, close shootouts. I think this is a similar type of game, plus the rust factor. I mean, it's been 3 weeks since the Chiefs played meaningful football, and also Denzel Ward. That's Cleveland's best corner. I mean, you're not going to slow down Mahomes. You're not going to stop him at all, but that does help a little bit to maybe limit the damage.
And let's remember a year ago in every single playoff game, they fell behind by double figures in every single game and then had to come back. And you wonder if that's in their psyche a little bit, that we can win no matter what we do in the first half or the first 3 quarters. All right, everybody there is on the Browns around the 10 number. It might go down before game time, which is 3 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. Okay, let's go to game 2 on the board, and that's the big one. Combined age, 85 years of the quarterbacks. Tom Brady, 43. Drew Brees is 42. Emory, I want to start with you. Where are you at on this game?
You know, I'm laying the points with New Orleans, and I would feel comfortable laying the points with New Orleans if it was at 6. So anything under 6, for me, you can go and lay those points. The Saints defense is going to be the reason why I think they move on, because they are able to match up with Tampa Bay. They force turnovers. I know you can't, predict that, but that's what happened in that second matchup. And in the first matchup, they were able to get after Tom Brady. So those 2 things combined tells you their defense will be the reason why they can win this game.
Yeah, and I'm backing up Emory's point here that I'm taking the under 52. That Saints defense hasn't allowed 300 pass yards all year. So I know the Bucs have had a lot of success offensively thanks to Brady. But I think that New Orleans offense will be a little sharper than last week, but I think the defense dictates the game. Like Emory said, the offense gets conservative in the second half. No Taysom Hill, so you can it doesn't seem like I think that he's questionable and expected to miss the game. So offense could be a little more conservative, a little more conventional, and this game stays under.
I'm just going to throw in a point of skepticism. I mean, this was 72-26. The Saints blew them out twice, but why is this line 3? Why is it 2.5? I mean, this line should be 4, should be 6. I think they're telling you something. These Bucs have been different since the bye. 6.9 yards per play, the best in the NFL. Brady's the highest rated passer. They had 31 against Washington. Chris Godwin dropped 4 balls, which he never does. So I just think the Bucs offense is going to do enough, and I took the points, but I see where the majority is going here.
Yeah, and at the SportsLine app, they're also leaning towards the Saints, so that's what we're going to go with on the show. But I think, Larry, there's also some Tom Brady love that's still here from Vegas. I think people love to bet on Tom Brady, so they bring it down so that they can lay the money on him. I believe that to be true. Now, again, call me a skeptic. Don't forget, if you want to join SportsLine, today's the day. What are you waiting for? If you use the promo code EDGE, you're going to get 30 days for free. You'll get all these great cappers you see right here. Also, all the cappers on the SportsLine app and all the simulations, which have been absolutely killing it. Okay, and by the way, we're getting ready to add props this year at some point, and this is our time for our prop of the day. Emory, I want to start with you. What do you got?
Well, I'll give you 2, one for each game. For the Browns game, look at Nick Chubb going over 73.5 yards rushing. I think that's a given. They're going to run the football. They got 2 great RB1s in Chubb and Hunt, but I think Chubb is more consistent as far as the number he's going to get. And in that Saints game, look at Michael Thomas going over that 6.5 receptions number. I think it's at plus 100, which is mind-boggling to me. I think he's going to get 8 or 9 catches in his ball game. He'll get like 75 targets anyway, so he'll come up with his fair share of receptions.
I like that Chubb prop over. I'm going to stay in that same game with another rushing prop over and go Patrick Mahomes over 19.5 rushing yards. He's topped this in 9 of 15 games this year, including 4 of his last 5. He could run more in the playoffs. We saw that last year. He didn't have more than 7 carries during the regular season in any game, but he had 7, 8, and 9 carries during the playoffs, and he topped 20 pretty easily in each of those games. So I think he could get there with no Clyde Edwards-Helaire expected in this game. They could rely on his legs a little more to open up the rushing attack. So I think he can get 8 or 9 carries here, get you over 19.5 rushing yards pretty easily.
I like those guys. I got one for each game. I got Kareem Hunt over 16.5 receiving yards. The Chiefs have given up 846 receiving yards to running backs. That's the most in the NFL. Browns could be playing from behind. That means a lot of Kareem Hunt in the passing game. And then in the other game, Chris Godwin, I mentioned it before, his receiving yards is 68.5. He's gone over it the last 3 games. He dropped 4 balls against Washington. And you know how many balls he dropped in his entire career up until that game? 4. So this guy's going to bounce back. And plus, the Saints usually do a great job on Mike Evans. They shut him down with Lattimore, which means a big game for Godwin.
Information you can only get right here on the Early Edge. All right, you know what time it is. Darth says it's time to grab your paper, grab your pencil. It's time for the recap of all these 3 incredible cappers. Okay, everybody is on the Browns tonight. Currently at William Hill, it sits at plus 9.5. It's been hovering. Obviously, if you're on the Browns, if you see it at 10, grab it. And the Saints are a consensus play at minus 2.5. Now, RJ White, he likes the under. No Taysom Hill. Thinks a conservative play calling today for the Saints. Go under 52. And then in his prop, Patrick Mahomes, over 19.5 rushing yards. He thinks that they will use his legs a little bit more in the playoffs. Emory, his props today, Michael Thomas, over 6.5 receptions. Thinks it will be 8 or 9. Nick Chubb, over 73.5 rushing yards. He's been a beast. And then the Maestro is on Kareem Hunt, over 16.5 receiving yards. And Chris Godwin, over 68.5 receiving yards. That's coming back, by the way, at minus 140. But we always say here on the show, sometimes the juice, it's worth the squeeze. All right, everybody, you've got your marching orders. Let's take these tickets straight to the pay window. For Emory Hunt, for the stoic one, RJ White, and the Maestro, Larry Hartstein, and the man who puts this all together, Jacob the Jeweler, our producer. I am the coach. I can't wait for another day of football. Good luck. And don't forget, this is the only place for your daily Early Edge.